What are we gonna do tonight, O.C.G?
Well, the same thing we try to do every night, Bertrum. Take over YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Obsessive Compulsive Gaming. I am the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer, and this is my review for Sonic Superstars. So, dear viewer, if you wouldn't mind, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Sonic Superstars is the latest video game starring everyone's favorite little blue bastard outside of Smurfette. And this comes to us from the same team who made Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Love-Making Machine, as well as 1,000 other Sonic the Hedgehog games. So, how does Sonic Superstars compare to all of those games? Well, I'm so glad you asked, dear viewer, and I'm going to do my best to answer that very question. But first I'm going to scratch my ass. There we go, all done scratching my ass. So, Sonic Superstars is the latest Sonic the Hedgehog game, as I have already said. But this time, not only can you play as Sonic, you can also play as Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. But for my first playthrough, I chose to play as Sonic. Because, of course I did. And like the other Sonic the Hedgehog games, you're going to find yourself running and jumping through many stages. Stages of all kinds and varieties. We have jungle stages, underwater stages, press office stages, stages on a giant spaceship shaped like Robotnik's face. But sadly, and this really does hurt my feelings, Sega, we still don't have any stages set inside of whorehouses. You would think after me writing 112 letters to you personally, demanding that the next Sonic game take place exclusively in a whorehouse, that you would at least put one level in. Even an act doesn't have to be a full level, it can just be, I don't know, Green Hill Zone Act 1, Red Light District, or I don't know. Anyway, pay attention, Sega. Sort it for the next Sonic game. If there is a next Sonic game. What am I saying? They will still be making Sonic games long after I'm dead and in the ground. This is true. So, let's cut to the chase, shall we? What did I think of Sonic Superstars? Well, how do I say this without pissing everyone off? You see, the thing is, I fucking love this game. This should have been Sonic the Hedgehog 4. What a marvelous update to the Sonic formula. Not only are the graphics superb, but also is the gameplay. And this game uses a lot of little things you might have seen in other Sonic games, like getting trapped inside of a bubble and having to navigate past obstacles without the bubble bursting, or traveling through water pipe thingies, or gliding as Knuckles, or flying as Tails, or taking all your clothes off as Amy, or actually Amy doesn't do that. I'm thinking of a completely different game. Yes, my mistake. You'll also notice that every single enemy in this game is a updated modern version of a classic Sonic enemy, like those crabs and those wasp things and those other robot animal things. And thankfully, every single boss fight in this game, of which there is quite a lot, thankfully, all of them are fun affairs that thankfully don't just simply reuse bosses that we faced 1,000 times before. I'm looking at you, Sonic Mania. Though Sonic Mania mostly used full levels that we have seen before as opposed to the boss fights, but you know what I mean. Thankfully, 99.9% of this game is shit that you've not seen before. And I was very grateful for that, though there is a couple of boss fights that will remind you of certain boss fights from, I don't know, Sonic CD, or Sonic 3, or Sonic 2 perhaps. But you'll just have to figure out what those are for yourself by buying the game, and then playing the game when it comes out in a few days' time, if it's not already out when you're watching this review. In that case, I hope you had as much fun as I did playing the game. So, what else can I tell you about Sonic Superstars? Well, my first playthrough took me about 4 hours to do, which is quite a bit longer than your average Sonic game, not to mention that you can then replay the game with the other playable characters, like I said. There are some other gameplay modes that I have yet to try out, including the battle mode thing, I believe, or playing the game in co-op or competitively or whatever. So if you have friends, you can try that out. Sadly, my only friend is an inanimate dildo called Wilbur, so I couldn't try out the co-op mode.
I thought I was your friend.
Shut up, Bertrum! Haha. So all in all, I can safely say I had an absolute blast playing through Sonic Superstars, and I'm still playing the bloody thing even now, so I guess I could not possibly give this game anything less than a 9 or a 10 out of 10 even. And yes, this is definitely my favorite Sonic the Hedgehog game since, probably Sonic Generations. So suck on that, all you Sonic Mania fanboys. This game is better than even that. Why? Well, because Sonic Mania is 70% Sonic games we've already seen before. And like I already said, this game is 99.9% new content, so just on that alone, this is a better game than Sonic Mania. Oh, and there's also a fabulous cutscene at the beginning and end of the game, which you can discover for yourself when you play the game. Unless you're watching this review after the game is already out. In that case, I hope you enjoyed those cutscenes. Therefore, I declare that Sonic Superstars is splendid. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my totally not improvised review for Sonic Superstars, which I totally did not record while I was sitting on the toilet. If you enjoyed this little review of mine, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed it, well then feel free to give me a thumbs down. But please remember the single most important thing I always tell you, dear viewer, and that is to always stay obsessed with gaming. Say goodbye, Bertram.
Goodbye, Bertram.
Are you still here? Oh, you must have really enjoyed this video then. In that case, you had better subscribe to the channel and check out our other content. Otherwise, you're a booby pants. And no one wants to be a booby pets.